and welcome to a new video. This one is about Chanel price increases. I know everyone has something to say, but I'll try to bring in a different point of view of maybe some new informations or maybe a reflection on what's next and how we are all going to see things now on. So let's start. Why is everyone so mad about Chanel prices increasing and what's really going on? So basically this was on 3rd of November, so a month ago. This was the third and last price increase in Chanel bags prices. So basically 3 price increases in a pandemic year, and I think that's why everyone's so mad, because a lot of prices going up in a short period of time, especially in the pandemic years, but I have my thoughts on that. Basically what happened is in January there was a overall price increase in Chanel. Then in July the Chanel boy bag, the 19, the wallet on a chain. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this is what I remember, like what I recall from following up Chanel and prices. So yes, and now we have a 15 to 9% in classic in the US. So from what I gathered, the small and medium size were up around 15%, and then the jumbo and the extra large were up 9%. So basically the smaller the bag, the bigger the increase. Yet the mini flaps had no increase, but they already had like an increase this year, so yeah. But the classics, they are continually going up in prices. And in Europe, what's funny is, I don't know if you've heard of this, but from the information on prices nowadays that I got together, that's why it took me a while to do this video, but from what I've been getting in information in Europe, the bigger sizes had a bigger price increase, and then the small and medium had a smaller price increase. So in Europe it was a little bit smaller than in the US, but I think it has something to do with like the taxes. I don't think it's their strategy at all to have like they always talk about maintaining the same price around the world, which is very impossible. But yeah, from Europe to the US they have to pay like import duties in the US. So basically the increase comes with a parcel of taxes. So that's what I'm understanding. Don't quote me on that. You can quote me on that, but don't quote Chanel or anyone else, because this is my understanding. Oh, I do have to say, not only the classics were increased, now the reissue were increased from 13 to 10% depending on the size. I think that's it. Maybe like some SLGs, I don't know. I don't follow those, so I wouldn't know. But yeah, and I think what's like a lot of questions come from this. I know people are really mad, I've been saying that, but the whole thing everyone's talking about, and I think that it shows more clearly, is that Chanel is trying to match the price range of Hermes. And also this year there was this whole conversation of how we would only be able to buy 1 or 2 classic bags a year per person. Of course, if you're like the biggest client of the boutique, like they know you are the one wearing it, they would eventually let you buy one, which I'm not sure I believe, because differently from Hermes, Chanel has their bags on display, and it would be quite bizarre, at least here in Brazil. I don't think they can do this for like legislation reasons. No, I can't sell you this bag that is here, unless they put like in every bag for display only, and they do the Hermes things of going to the back and saying they have a bag for you. I don't know, I think it's weird. I don't think they'll do this. So I don't see Chanel doing the same game as Hermes, but they do want to make it a little bit more exclusive by price. And yes, I'm not going to get into quality issues. I know some people are complaining. I don't see the way. I mean, I haven't experienced that. I have Chanel bags from 30 years ago and from now. I understand the craftsmanships and the details on vintage are very much special, but I do see the colors are even like more beautiful and brighter and softer and different. The leather, like the lamb skin is amazing. I think the duration of the colors are amazing. So I'm not going into that because I don't think there is such an issue there. I know some people have seen like this bag at this store were looking like this, which shouldn't happen, but you know, we're all humans. When you depend on employees and people trying on, maybe it happens. It would be like scared to me if I saw this, showed this to an SA and she would be like, oh, whatever. But if the response was something like, oh, this shouldn't be here, I'm sorry, blah blah blah, I'll take this like excuse. No, I don't know, we can talk about quality later on, but yeah, I don't think Chanel will actually match their Hermes game. I think it's quite hard and quite fake, quite like something cannot be truth, like down the truth like this. So I don't think it will happen, but I do think just by increasing the price it will get a more exclusive feel to having a Chanel bag, especially what's coming next. So let's say what everything happens now. So the first thing I was thinking about was 10 years ago when I was in like first year of college, second year of college. Maybe that's more than 10 years, but yeah. Everyone, of course, I went to a private school and then like a private college, expensive one, but literally everyone had a Chanel classic bag, and we were 18. Of course, this is Brazil, it's different. If you're like middle class, high to high class, if you have more access, it's kind of more acceptable, except not today. Like 10 years ago, it was more acceptable. 10 or 12 years ago, it was more common to happen this. So basically, everyone had a not everyone, but you know, like half of the school had a Chanel classic bag. I think like Hermes and Birkin were more like wow, but I think the Chanel was pretty common, especially like going out in my my 20 years. Everyone was carrying, like the uniform was the Chanel classic flap, which actually led me to a 5-year time that I couldn't see it, and maybe more than 5 years, because only 3 years ago I started checking more classic flaps and liking it again. So I kind of understand where Chanel is coming from. Of course, this will not apply to everyone. If you're like in the US or in Europe, in some countries where it is still not, I don't know, it is still seen as the thing is, you have like in general your population has a better acquisition condition than us, but the people that can buy a Chanel bag here, they will, you know, not in other countries. I think they don't care as much. You really have to care and like and etc. whatever. So that's not a part of the video, but one thing that I have to say is I understand where Chanel is coming from, because my personal experience, and I know I live in an exotic place, is that it could have, even if it was expensive, it was too reachable. And I got my very own, like I use my mom's bags, but me and my sister, we got our first Chanel. I was 17 and she was 19, so, and by that time the price was 160, 160, how do you say, like 18% of what the price is here today. So can you imagine? Not because the price of Chanel has gone up by 6, but because our currency has like been up and down from for the last 12 years. So yes, so that's it. And I do, since I've been to this experience of thinking, oh my god, everyone has this, now I can't stand to look at it, I kind of understand where they're coming from, except this is not the case in the whole world. So, or is it? How do you feel? How do you feel in your country or in your city? Could like anyone just buy the bag, or is it still exclusive? But maybe think of like 3 years ago, to 5, to 10, not nowadays that it's more expensive, because I do think they have been working on this from the last 10 years. Some of you may be too young to understand or remember this, but 10 years ago was stupidly easy to get a Chanel bag. It was not like, this didn't feel, it was luxury, because that's what, like, people wouldn't expend much more money than that in a bag except for Hermes. But the different from now, it feels way more luxury, way more exclusive and special. So I understand where they're coming from. I think they accelerated it, and I think it would be wise to think long term and slowly, and like one increase every year. But yeah, so I do understand them, but I think they would take things a little bit slower as they were doing. On the other hand, leather has been really expensive. Just like food, leather comes from animals. So we are seeing a high inflation rate in a lot of countries, most countries. Even Europe, even London, there's shortage of food. So yes. So this is also understandable, but on the other side, they do have like a profit margin that they already have like margin for this, to calculate the fluctuation of workforce, to leather and materials. So yeah, maybe it's an excuse, maybe it's not. What I do think about it, there is no use in fighting it. So you might say, I don't want it, it's not worth it. Or you might say, well, yeah, whatever, what can I do? I don't understand like someone that would pay, I don't know, but here in Brazil we're like at 36,000 reais, a mini flap. I know because I just bought it, so that's around 6,000 US dollars, and before it was like 5,200. So I don't understand how you can say 5,200 is worth it, but not 6,000. Like it doesn't make sense to me, because I understand people say like 6,000 is an absurd amount, but I wouldn't pay 5 either. But how do you set the limit from 5,200 to 6,000? So it doesn't make sense for me. So of course I will keep buying it, except I'll keep behaving as I do. So making all my purchase specials, plan it, love it. So yes, being like very secure about what I buy. So let's talk about what to buy. Basically, what really showed to me is that they are focusing a lot on the reissue this year. And that's not a bag I like for my personal style. I prefer the classic much better, the classic flap. which might be seen as they are focused on this on the long term. So the reissue have a much better price on resale market right now, second hand, vintage, not vintage because it's decently new, but yes. So there's a better resale price right now, so you might consider in buying it second hand and keeping it, or just buying it because chances is it will go up next year again. For the classic flap, I think there's like not much tricks there. It will just go up and up and up. I suspect in March there will be a new one, or April, mark my words, and I haven't heard this anywhere else. So past festives and like with new seasons, I don't know. So if you really want like a reissue and a Chanel Classic flap, what would you do? I would try to get the classic flap first. If I don't think I can buy both before like in the next 3 months, and then see if I can find a good deal on second hand market for the reissue, or just buy like if I find an amazing deal the reissue and then accept the price increases on Chanel Classic flap. Yes, it's picky. The boy bag, I don't like also the boy bag. It's not for me. I don't like too much hardware, so I do not like it. But I do think because it already has like 2 recent price increases, if I'm wrong, correct me. So I do think it will stay okay for at least 6 months. I don't see how they could like what can justify another increase, even because it's not that popular. So they still want to make it popular. When they increase a bag, it's because they'll keep this bag. So they'll keep boy bag, but if it's too close to the classic flap, maybe people would just prefer the classic flap. So I think it's fine. If you want a boy bag, I think you can hold on a little longer. And the like most shocking thing for me was the Chanel 21 that I absolutely love and dream about, that I really want. I have like just 2 very specific color that I want in leather, and a very specific tweed that I want, that I've been like looking for. And unfortunately the resale market here is not as big and full of options as like in Europe or the US, so I don't find them. So I'm been trying to look at what's like releasing. But yeah, so I really love this bag. I really want this bag. For me, like the most amazing bags are the classics and the 21. I love it. And what like shook me, like it shook me, is that it didn't got a price increase right now. And I don't understand, because for 1 to 2 reasons. Like it can only be this or that. So this is, maybe they already had like an increase this year, so they are holding on, so the prices of the classic flaps can go like up and they can go later, so it's not too close, so they can still like push all the value in the classic flap. And if that is the case, I'll be relieved, because I still can buy it maybe next season in a price that is not higher than now. Or what I'm most afraid of, they will be not focusing on the 21. Because why would a house or a brand increase the price of something to add value if they're just cutting it off? So when Chanel says, oh, this, and these bags are increasing in price because they are sought after, people will still buy it, so they'll keep making it. It's a success, and Chanel is investing in those models. So when they didn't do anything with the Chanel 21, I was like, yes! And then I was like, oh no. Oh no. Chanel, where are you going with my 21 that I still don't have? So I tried to think about how the business works and how they strategize things, so I can strategize my buying. But right now, it's weird because if I had 100% sure that the 21 will remain a classic, then I'll just buy it right now. Doesn't matter the price. But because I'm worried it will be not considered a classic, it will be done like one collection a year, or maybe in 2-3 years they won't exist anymore. I'm like, should I buy it? Because it's still an expensive bag for not being a classic. And right now I'm in a point that I only want classic investment pieces. So what do you think? What do you think? I feel like Chanel is tipping off us, but also in this case is making me extremely confused. And I do have to say, my last purchase, in case you didn't see, was a classic mini flap, and I was between that and a classic flap, but like a medium or a small classic flap. But that is in my like list of bags. Like I have 5 bags that I really need in my life, and that one is in the list. But I did prefer to buy the mini one because it didn't have the price increase. So let me know what you think. Would you do that? And then like the classic, I still have a few more months because I know the price just went up, so maybe it will stay like this until March and April, and I'll be like easier to buy on pre-love. So yeah. So what you think after all this conversation and the points I put? Are you like more mad or less mad with Chanel? And what will think will be the destiny of Chanel 21? It will be a classic, or is this just wishful thinking? I hope you like this conversation. Please consider subscribing, and do tell me what you think about everything I said, if I'm totally wrong, if I've been tripping, or if these are real concerns. Let me know here, and I'll be glad to answer everyone. Till next time.